Hello, and welcome back to the newest episode of Tokyo PM, where we tried to cover product management based here in Japan. I wanted the opportunity today to talk about what it feels like to be a beginner in the field of product management when getting into the career in Japan. So I've touched on a previous video where the work culture in Japan is very different in the sense that when you get out of university, and I've seen in the US, you'll have Google APM program or other companies that offer these assistant product management programs. And this is a way for new grads to get a job into the role, into the company. And Japan's very different in the sense that it used to be that actually a university will have companies that they're associated with. And so then the companies will get first pick of the new grads. And so the company will tell the university, hey, I want two people. And then the university will choose which people to send for an interview. Things are different now. There's a lot more responsibility on the individual to go out there and try to get a job. But there's still very much the structure of new grads will go get a job. And in that vein, they don't know where they end up. So my wife, when she was getting a job, she was doing interviews, and she ended up in sales of solar panel construction. And that's not where she wanted to be. So this happens a lot where you'll have people that are eager to join a company and eager to have the opportunity to join the workforce. But the way that the structure works in Japan, especially for the bigger companies, is you don't know where you're going to end up and you don't know what kind of skill set that you're going to have. And this is really difficult to be a product manager in the beginning because you have some companies that don't necessarily know what the role of product manager is. They mix product manager, project manager, and product owner, which all have different sort of responsibilities associated to them. And so you'll have someone who mixes all of these, and then the product manager doesn't necessarily get the experience that they're hoping to in terms of developing their career as a product manager. At the same time, you have really talented people that transition into product management when they're a little bit more senior. So, let's say they're a software engineer or they're a business analyst or they are a anthropologist and they've been doing that for 5-6 years and then switch into product management. That comes with its own challenges because you're learning a new skill or you're expanding on a skill set that you already have. But when it comes to trying to figure out your way as a product manager at the beginning, it can be quite challenging because this is the first job you've ever had. And the role of a product manager can be so fundamental to the way that a company operates. And there's a lot of expectation on you on what should the company be doing? What should we be prioritizing? What does the customer want? And how do we give it to them in a way that everyone's happy? I'm not going to lie. That's a lot of responsibility for someone who just got their first job. And now it's like, do this role. You need to do all of these. I found it quite challenging when I first joined. And that's one of the reasons that I started this monthly social event and starting to try organize more formal events when it comes to product management here in Tokyo, because there's a lot of product managers in the city. And the product managers that are here are eager to learn and to develop and to grow, which is part of what it is to be a product manager. We always have to be learning and improving because there's no perfect way to do things. So I've been organizing these monthly events as a chance for me to learn what is product management, because in my first professional experience, I did a little bit of design as a UX designer as an intern, but after 6 months, I realized that that's not for me. And so I was given the opportunity to switch into product management, and I took it. Now, like I said, with new grads, you have the risk of being assigned to anything at any time. And so if the business wants you to do sales, or if the business wants you to now be a customer service agent, for example, they can do that at the drop of a hat and you have no say at a bigger company. Now, is this good? It's debatable. So yes, you do get the security of having a job, having, a company that'll pay your insurance and things like that. But if you're trying to develop a career in a specific field or in a specific profession, let's say product management, and all of a sudden tomorrow I'm now a customer service agent, and then 6 months from now I'm now joining a sales team. I don't develop the career that I'm hoping to. And what that means is that now I lose in the institutional knowledge that I'm getting in the role, but also the ability to communicate with other companies. Let's say if I'm trying to new job and say, hey, I've done product management, but only for that 1 month or, however period of time because I was changed roles. And so it doesn't allow you to specialize and it doesn't allow you to get good. And so this I find is an issue with a lot of new product managers in Japan. The companies don't solidify their role. And if you don't solidify the role at the beginning, it doesn't let someone who's new out of university embrace that this is their responsibility, embrace what they want to do, and strive to get good. If tomorrow they know that they're going to be reassigned to a completely different team, then why try? Is something that a lot of people feel. Personally, I was stubborn. I was very stubborn. There were discussions at times to assign me to different roles, but I was very clear this is what I wanted to do, this is why I want to do it, and was very vocal to my manager and to my manager's manager and to HR. And so in that way, I managed to remain in my role for 2+ years, which is not common for someone who's a new grad. So I would recommend if you're new, if you're trying to figure out, so if you're new in a Japanese company and you want to make sure that you're doing the job that you want to do, fight for it. Talk to the people that matter and see if you can keep staying true to the role that you want to do, because that's your career as well. That's the professional experience that you want to build up so that you can get good at what you want to do. Because you have this propensity to be assigned into a role, I find imposter syndrome is very big. So we had one UX designer in our team who was responsible for coordinating UX with a vendor, but at the same time would have to make UX decisions themselves. But they were a contractor from a consulting firm who had never done UX in their life, ever. And all of a sudden now this person is being tasked with the responsibilities of, what design should we do? How should we implement the user flow and what color grading are we choosing and things like that. And this person, of course, had no idea, but they carried themselves in a way where at least my managers could trust them to either handle it themselves or find someone who can and work together to deliver on what our team expected. So my recommendation would be, if you feel like an imposter, you're not. You're a beginner. And one good thing to take to heart is we're all kind of beginners. We're all learning. Like, even if I have 15 years of experience, yes, I might know some default things, but there's still room for me to learn. And so I would argue anyone who thinks that they can't learn is falling behind. Because if you give yourself the space to learn, you're giving yourself the space to make mistakes. And this is something I'm very bad at. When I'm trying to do something new, I want it to be perfect. And if it's not perfect, I don't want to share it. Which means that you end up not communicating, not learning, and not having the opportunity to get feedback from your peers. So if you're a brand new product manager, my recommendation would be figure out what the basics are. Do a little bit of online research, understand what your role is, understand how you can have the biggest impact, but also understand with your team. Talk to your team, talk to your manager who assigned you to the role, talk to the other stakeholders that you have and say, what do you want? What do you expect from me? What can I do to help? At the same time, be clear on the basics, understand what you want to do, and try to bring those two together. It's difficult to take that level of confidence to say, I believe that we should be doing this. Because when you're a product manager, you're not just taking care of yourself, you're taking care of a product and the team that exists around that product. So you will make mistakes. It helps to have a mentor. It helps to have someone a little bit more senior in the same role that you can work with and get feedback from, and who can also cover you if you do make a very big mistake, because that will happen. But having that space to learn and to grow and to make mistakes can be really good to try and make you a stronger product manager. Not perfect. You'll never be perfect, but it allows you to embrace the fact that you don't know but you still make it through your day and you still learn a little bit at a time. And over time, you will get better. This is assuming you're not reassigned, in 6 months or in a year. So fight for the role, understand the basics, have a mentor who can cover you if anything does go bad, but also understand that we're all learning. We're all trying our best, and that will mean that you will make mistakes and other people will make mistakes, and we forgive each other. That would be my recommendation. That's something that I've had to deal with and still do, but I'm hoping through this. I'm not someone who's very comfortable behind the camera, but I'm hoping through this I also get to learn a new skill. So thank you for joining me on this journey, and I'll see you on the next one.